Chosen one, you are not here by accident, and God did not let this prophetic message reach you 1 second too early or 1 second too late. Something in your spirit has been standing at a locked door, and today, that door is beginning to move. You may not even know how deeply you needed this until the words start touching places you stopped talking about. There are seasons when God answers loudly. There are seasons when He answers through silence. And then there are moments like this, when the silence itself becomes the proof that He was holding something for you. You thought you were being ignored. You thought your discernment was fading. You thought maybe you missed the sign, missed the opportunity, missed the timing. But what if the timing was never lost? What if the message was sealed because the old pain in you would have turned it into fear? Take a breath, chosen one. The lock was not punishment, it was protection. This is the first truth your weary heart needs to hear. God did not hide this from you because He wanted you confused. He did not hold this back because you were unworthy. He held it because some words require a steadier soul, and some answers can only be carried by a person who has stopped begging pain to explain God. You have asked for clarity more times than people know. You asked in quiet rooms. You asked while driving with your eyes full. You asked while smiling at people who had no idea your spirit was tired. And every time the answer did not come the way you expected, a small part of you wondered if heaven had gone silent. Heaven was not empty. Heaven was careful. There is a difference. A silent God is not always an absent God. Sometimes, silence is the mercy that keeps your fear from touching a promise before your faith is able to protect it. Sometimes, a closed door is not rejection. Sometimes it is God refusing to let you enter while your wounds are still choosing your direction. Chosen one, this message was not locked to shame you. It was locked to guard you. The lock was placed over the message because the message carried instruction, not just comfort. It carried responsibility, not just relief. It carried a level of truth that the old version of you might have turned into pressure. If God had released this too early, you might have used it to prove your worth. You might have chased the door instead of listening to the shepherd. You might have told the wrong people too soon, or tried to force a season that needed to unfold in hiddenness. That is why the timing matters. The exact second is not about a clock on the wall. It is about the condition of the one receiving. It is about your heart becoming quiet enough to hear without wrestling the message into something smaller. It is about your spirit becoming steady enough to obey without needing every detail in advance. You thought you needed the answer to become calm. God knew you needed formation to carry the answer. That is why you could sense something near, but could not open it. That is why the handle moved in prayer, but never fully turned. That is why certain words almost reached you, then disappeared like mist. You were not losing your mind. You were being protected from premature interpretation. There are words that become poison when fear reads them first. There are blessings that become burdens when insecurity touches them too soon. There are instructions that only sound like peace when the person hearing them has stopped treating God like a test they are failing. That is why this moment matters. It is not just that a message has reached you. It is that you have become the kind of person who can receive it differently. The old you would have grabbed it with panic. The formed you can receive it with breath. The old you would have asked what it proves. The formed you can ask what it requires. Chosen one, notice what has been changing in you. You are not reacting the way you used to react. You are not chasing the same voices. You are not as impressed by noise as you once were. Something in you has become quieter, but not weaker. Something in you has become slower, but not smaller. That quietness is a sign. That slowness is a sign. That strange distance from old chaos is a sign. You may have called it numbness, but some of it was healing. You may have called it tiredness, but some of it was your spirit refusing to waste energy on battles that no longer belonged to your assignment. You thought it was delay, but it was discernment forming. You thought it was isolation, but it was noise leaving. You thought it was loss, but it was space being cleared. You thought it was confusion, but it was false certainty dying. You thought it was silence, but it was timing. That is why the lock is turning now, not because you finally became perfect, not because you have every answer, not because you never feel afraid. The lock is turning because you are less controlled by fear than you were before, and because your spirit has stopped confusing urgency with obedience. There are signs that the door is beginning to open. They may be subtle, but they are real. You may feel drawn to silence in a way that does not feel empty. You may feel less able to pretend around people who feed on your old version. You may sense a gentle separation from conversations that once pulled you into proving, defending, and explaining. You may also notice that old habits no longer comfort you. The scrolling does not numb you the same way. The attention does not feed you the same way. The argument does not energize you the same way. The apology you wanted from certain people no longer feels like the key to your freedom. That is not random, chosen one. That is the lock shifting. When God prepares a person for an unlocked word, He often removes the taste for the things that would corrupt the word after it arrives. He starts making old rooms uncomfortable before He opens the new door. Another sign is that your grief is losing its authority. You may still remember what happened. You may still feel the ache at certain moments. But the ache no longer gets to define the future every time it speaks. There is a difference between remembering pain and letting pain sit on the throne. Another sign is that certain words keep returning. A scripture, a phrase, a dream, a sentence someone spoke without knowing why it pierced you. It keeps circling back because the message was not trying to entertain you, it was trying to locate you. Maybe you kept hearing the word wait. Maybe you kept hearing the word prepare. Maybe you kept hearing the word separate. Maybe you kept sensing that something was close. But every time you tried to force it, peace left your body. That was not failure. That was guidance. Chosen one, guidance does not always feel like a green light. Sometimes guidance feels like holy restraint. Sometimes God leads by closing your appetite for what used to distract you. Sometimes He answers by making your old escape routes feel too small for your spirit to fit inside anymore. And there is one more sign. You are still here. After the delays, after the silence, after the misunderstanding, after the moments when you wondered if you should stop believing, you are still listening for God. That matters more than you think. Persistence is not always loud. Sometimes persistence is one tired soul whispering, "I still believe you are good." This is where many people stop too early. They feel the signs and assume the whole revelation has arrived. They feel a little peace and think the door is fully open. They feel confirmation and immediately run to tell people who were never assigned to steward the tenderness of what God is doing. But the signs are not the destination. They are the invitation. They are the sound of the key entering the lock, not the full room revealed. They tell you something is moving, but they do not replace obedience. They confirm that God has been near, but they do not remove the need to listen carefully. The mistake would be to turn this moment into excitement without surrender. Excitement can rise quickly and fade quickly. Surrender goes deeper. Surrender says, "God, I do not only want the door open, I want the posture to enter well. I do not only want the answer, I want the character to carry it." That is the difference between receiving a message and being entrusted with one. Many people want a word that makes them feel special. Few people want a word that makes them responsible. Chosen one. This moment is not here to flatter your identity. It is here to steady it. The message was held, but not only because the message had weight, it was held because the receiver was being formed. You were being formed in ways you did not have language for. You were being shaped beneath the surface, in places applause could not reach. That hidden place was not wasted. It was not a pause in your calling. It was part of your calling. The wilderness did not cancel the promise. The waiting did not erase the word. The lock did not deny your name. It protected the room until your spirit could stand in it without collapsing. The prophet Habakkuk once learned that the vision waits for the appointed time. It does not lie. It does not rush. It does not arrive because panic demands it. It arrives when God has finished preparing what the eye cannot see and what the heart could not have handled too soon. Hear this clearly. Your timeline was not inferior because it was hidden. Your process was not broken because it was slow. Your promise was not weaker because it needed protection. Some seeds require darkness before they break open, and some callings require silence before they can speak with purity. You were not being punished in the dark. You were being formed there. You were not being erased in the waiting. You were being taught how to remain. You were not being mocked by a locked door. You were being prepared for the responsibility on the other side. This is why the old version of you could not carry the new instruction. The old version was sincere, but exhausted. The old version loved God, but feared disappointment. The old version wanted to obey, but still needed people to agree before taking the first step. Chosen one, that is the version this message was waiting for. Not the version with perfect faith, not the version with no wounds, not the version that never trembles, the version that has learned to tremble and still listen. The version that can feel uncertainty and still refuse to call God unfaithful. Something in you has matured. You may not have noticed it because maturity often feels less exciting than breakthrough. It feels like restraint. It feels like silence. It feels like not reacting. It feels like choosing peace when the old pattern wants proof. It feels like staying soft without becoming available to everything. So do not rush this moment. Do not grab at it. Do not turn it into a demand. Let it meet you slowly. Let it tell the truth without forcing your fear to understand every piece at once. The first movement of the lock is not noise. It is recognition. The message was waiting for the appointed version of you. And, chosen one, the reason these words are reaching you now is not because the message suddenly became true. It was always true. The difference is that you are finally able to hear it clearly. There is a kind of time that cannot be measured by a clock. It is not counted by days. It is not proven by calendars. It does not move because fear demands movement, and it does not open because your anxiety knocks harder. This is the time God uses when He is forming a person beneath the surface. Chosen one. The word for this is kairos. It means an appointed moment, not a random moment, not a lucky moment, not a moment you create by panic. Kairos is the point where preparation and release meet, and what has been hidden becomes able to be received without being destroyed by fear. That is why the exact second matters, not because the clock had magic in it, not because 1 minute before this would have ruined everything. It matters because readiness has a sound in the spirit, and God knows when the inside of a person has become quiet enough to hear what once would have overwhelmed them. Chronos is ordinary time. It is morning and evening. It is weeks passing. It is birthdays, deadlines, rent, appointments, and the slow ache of waiting for something to change. You have lived inside Chronos for a long time. You watched days move while the promise seemed still. But Kairos is different. Kairos is when God touches ordinary time and turns it into a doorway. It is when the same words you heard before suddenly land with weight. It is when a scripture you once read casually begins to feel like it is reading you. It is when the silence starts making sense. You did not miss God because the door did not open in Chronos. You did not fail because your timeline looked slower than someone else. Some people receive quickly because the assignment is light. Some people wait longer because what they carry must be purified before it becomes visible. This is why comparison is dangerous. Comparison only reads clocks. It sees age, money, attention, status, and speed. It cannot see formation. It cannot see God removing fear from your motives. It cannot see the hidden work happening in your hunger, your patience, and your ability to obey without applause. Chosen one, what looked late on the outside may have been perfectly timed on the inside. You were watching the door. God was watching the person standing before it. You were asking why the handle would not move. God was asking whether fear still had enough power to pull you backward after it opened. This is not meant to accuse you, it is meant to free you. You can stop calling yourself behind. You can stop believing that heaven forgot your name. You can stop measuring spiritual timing by people who never had to carry your kind of assignment through your kind of wilderness. The vision waits for the appointed time. That does not mean the vision is weak. It means the vision is governed. It does not lie. It does not panic. It does not need to prove itself early to calm the part of you that still fears being abandoned. There are some things God will not release into an unhealed interpretation. He knows what pain does to language. He knows how grief can twist a blessing into pressure. He knows how rejection can hear instruction as punishment. He knows how exhaustion can turn a door into another burden. That is why what looked like silence was protection. What looked like delay was formation. What looked like rejection was redirection. What looked like loss was uncluttering. What looked like fog was the failure of an old map. What looked like nothing was God refusing to let fear become your interpreter. You may have called it silence because you could not hear an answer. But God may have called it mercy because he knew the answer would have sounded like threat to the part of you that was still bleeding. He was not trying to withhold peace. He was keeping you from turning peace into another thing to control. There is a tenderness in that, if you let yourself see it. A locked message can be love. A delayed door can be love. A hidden season can be love. Not every no is rejection. Not every wait is punishment. Not every silence means absence. The hardest part was not only waiting, the hardest part was waiting without misnaming God. It was standing in the middle of unanswered questions and not letting pain rename him as cruel. It was waking up another day without visible proof and still refusing to call his timing careless. Chosen one, you did not do that perfectly. No one does. There were moments when your heart accused him. There were moments when you wondered if you had been foolish to believe. There were moments when the silence felt too heavy to spiritualize, and all you could do was keep breathing. God saw that too. He saw the faith that did not feel like faith because it had no music around it. He saw the obedience that looked small because no one celebrated it. He saw the nights when you did not feel strong, but you still did not let bitterness become your final language. That matters. Hidden faith matters. Quiet endurance matters. The prayers you whispered without confidence still mattered. The tears you wiped away before anyone entered the room still mattered. The moments you chose not to harden your heart still mattered more than you know. And now, something in the timing is different. Not everything around you has changed. Not every door is visibly open. Not every question has an answer yet. But something inside you is no longer relating to the weight the same way. And that shift is one of the first signs of Kairos. You are not standing at the door as the same person. You are not asking from the same wound. You are not reaching with the same panic. The hand on the handle is steadier now, and heaven knows the difference between desperation and readiness. This is where you must listen carefully. The message being unlocked is not only about what God will do around you, it is also about what He has already done within you. Many people miss their appointed moment because they keep looking for outer proof while ignoring inner evidence. The old anger does not command you like before. The old approval hunger does not pull you with the same force. The old fear still visits, but it does not always get the keys. Something has shifted in the hidden room of your soul, and that is why the word can reach you now. There is another layer to this, and it touches the way your mind has been carrying the waiting. Some of you have not only felt spiritually delayed, you have felt mentally covered. You have felt foggy, slower, scattered, or strangely disconnected from the clear knowing you used to carry. This is not your identity. Hear that again. This is not your identity. There are moments when life, stress, grief, and modern noise cover what God placed in you, and the covering can become so familiar that you start mistaking it for who you are. There are people who wake up one day and realize they do not think as clearly as they once did. They forget words, they lose focus. They know they are gifted, but the gift feels trapped behind glass. They can sense the answer, but cannot always reach it when they need it. That is not always laziness. That is not always weakness. That is not always a lack of prayer. Sometimes the human mind has carried too much pressure for too long, and the spirit can be willing while the inner system is tired from surviving. Some researchers have spent years studying what happens when adulthood slowly covers the natural clarity many people had as children. They have looked at how the two sides of the mind can stop working together in the way they were designed to work, and how restoration can sometimes begin through a simple daily practice. I will name that later, but not here. This moment is not about rushing toward a tool. It is about recognizing the truth beneath the tool. What if your clarity was not gone? What if it was covered? What if the childlike part of you that once learned, sensed, imagined, and trusted is not dead, but waiting to be restored? Hold that question gently. Do not force it. Do not turn it into pressure. Let it sit beside the message God is unlocking. Because the same God who forms your spirit also understands your mind, your attention, your fatigue, and the way your body has been carrying years of unanswered questions. There is no shame in needing restoration. There is no shame in admitting that waiting has cost you something. There is no shame in saying, God, I still believe, but I feel covered. That kind of honesty does not offend heaven. It opens a room where healing can begin. Chosen one, the old version of you could not carry the new instruction because the old version was still trying to survive every word. It heard correction as rejection. It heard delay as abandonment. It heard silence as proof that God had turned away. The old version was sincere. Do not despise that part of yourself. That version prayed with the strength it had. That version kept going when quitting felt easier. That version protected you through seasons where you did not have the language, the support, or the clarity you have now. But sincerity is not the same as readiness. You can love God and still not be ready for what He is about to release. You can be called and still need formation. You can be chosen and still need healing in the places where your fear keeps trying to interpret everything first. That is why God waited. Not because He needed you flawless, not because He demanded perfect confidence. He waited because He wanted the instruction to land in a heart that would not immediately turn it into panic, performance, or a desperate need to be understood by everyone. The old you wanted answers to feel safe. The formed you can receive instruction and still trust. The old you wanted every detail before moving. The formed you can take one faithful step. The old you asked what this proves about your worth. The formed you asks what obedience looks like today. This is a holy shift. It may not look dramatic from the outside. People may not clap for it. They may not even notice it. But heaven notices when a soul stops needing constant reassurance before it obeys, and heaven notices when fear no longer gets the final vote. I sense this landing for someone right now. I did not hide this from you. I held it until you could carry it. I did not delay because I forgot you. I waited until the word could heal you instead of frighten you. I waited until your spirit could hear me without turning my voice into fear. Receive that slowly. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to perform for it. You do not have to prove that you deserved the waiting. Some things only make sense after the soul has enough peace to look back without bleeding over every memory. When you look back now, you may begin to see patterns. The relationship that closed was painful, but it removed a voice that would have mocked your obedience. The opportunity that did not work was disappointing, but it kept you from building a future on a foundation your spirit never trusted. The place that rejected you hurt deeply, but it also revealed how much of your identity was still tied to being accepted by rooms that could not recognize your assignment. The silence stretched you, but it also taught you that God can be present without performing on your timeline. This does not mean every painful thing was good. Do not force that. Some things were wrong. Some things were unfair. Some people mishandled you. Some losses were real losses. But God is able to protect the seed even when the season around it is harsh. That is the mystery of appointed time. It does not erase grief. It redeems direction. It does not pretend the wound never happened. It teaches the wound that it does not get to write the ending. It does not call darkness light. It brings light into the place where darkness tried to build a throne. I once heard of a woman who carried a story like that. She believed her family lived under a kind of bad timing. Every door seemed to close right after hope appeared. Her father worked for years, and just when it looked like stability might finally come, the whole structure collapsed. That kind of story can mark a person. It can make the mind expect failure before anything begins. It can make love feel temporary and opportunity feel suspicious. It can make a person call life cursed when something deeper is actually waiting to be uncovered. But there came a point when clarity began returning for her. Not all at once, not with fireworks. She began noticing that her thoughts were sharper, her decisions were calmer, and her ability to receive good without bracing for disaster slowly came back. Her story matters because some people are not fighting a lack of destiny. They are fighting an old interpretation of their life. They have named the pattern curse, failure, delay, or punishment, when God may be preparing to show them that the lock was not the end of the story. Chosen one. Maybe that touches something in you. Maybe you have called your life difficult for so long that ease feels suspicious. Maybe you have been trained by disappointment to distrust anything that arrives gently. Maybe you have mistaken repeated pain for a permanent prophecy. But pain is not allowed to be your prophet. Disappointment is not allowed to be your scripture. Delay is not allowed to be your God. The Father is still the one who names you, and He has not given your future to the thing that hurt you. The appointed version of you is not the version that never suffered. It is the version that no longer lets suffering define the meaning of every door. It is the version that can remember the wound without worshipping it. It is the version that can listen for God without demanding that He speak through panic. This is why the message can reach you now. Something in you has become available to peace. Something in you has become honest enough to heal. Something in you has stopped needing the old explanation, and that makes room for a better one. Do not rush past this. Let the word appointed become a place to rest. You are not behind the way fear told you. You are not forgotten the way silence suggested. You are not disqualified because your process took longer than you wanted. The door was locked, but the room was not empty. The message was held, but the promise was not dead. The wait was long, but the hand of God was not absent. And now, at the appointed time, The receiver is ready enough to hear what the old version could only fear. The revelation is not only spiritual, it touches the mind, it touches attention, it touches memory, it touches the quiet place inside you, where clarity used to feel natural and where confusion has been sitting for longer than you wanted to admit. Chosen one, this matters because waiting does not only test faith. Waiting can wear down the inner system that carries faith. You can love God and still feel foggy. You can believe and still feel scattered. You can be called and still wonder why your mind feels covered when your spirit is trying to listen. That covering is not your identity. It is not the proof that you lost your gift. It is not the proof that God stopped speaking. Sometimes the spirit is willing, but the mind has been carrying years of pressure, grief, noise, disappointment, and constant survival. You were never meant to live in a state of permanent strain. You were never meant to mistake exhaustion for humility. You were never meant to believe that being chosen means being mentally crushed, emotionally tense, and spiritually alert every second of the day. There is a difference between surrender and shutdown. There is a difference between stillness and numbness. There is a difference between holy waiting and a mind that has been forced to fight through too much noise for too long. This is why the lock matters. God can unlock a message, but the receiver still needs clarity to steward it. A word can be true, yet still be misheard by a tired mind. A door can be open, yet still feel frightening to a heart that has learned to expect pain behind every opening. Some of you have felt that. You hear something good, and a part of you immediately braces. You sense hope, and your mind starts preparing for disappointment. You receive a sign, and instead of peace, you feel pressure to decode everything at once. That is not because you are weak. It is because the old pattern is trying to protect you from being hurt again. But the old pattern is not the Holy Spirit. Fear can mimic wisdom when you have been wounded, and exhaustion can make every instruction sound heavier than it really is. The message being unlocked in this season is not only meant to excite you, it is meant to restore your inner agreement with God. It is meant to help your mind, heart, and spirit stop fighting each other every time heaven places a clear next step in front of you. Think about the childlike part of you, not the childish part. The childlike part. The part that once learned quickly. The part that imagined without apology. The part that could sense what a room felt like before anyone explained it. The part that believed goodness could arrive without needing disaster to follow. That part of you was not foolish. That part was open. That part was alive. That part had not yet been trained to expect betrayal behind every door, rejection behind every delay, and disappointment behind every blessing. Then life happened. People spoke over you. Systems shaped you. Fear trained you. School taught you to memorize more than to wonder. Survival taught you to scan for danger more than to listen for God. Pain taught you to call suspicion wisdom. Slowly, the inner light became covered, not gone, covered. That is the word your spirit needs. Covered does not mean dead. Covered does not mean lost. Covered does not mean disqualified. Covered means restoration is possible. You were clearer as a child than you may realize. You were more creative. You were more present. You were more able to receive. And somewhere along the way, adulthood asked you to trade wonder for control, and then called that trade maturity. But God is not only restoring your future, He is restoring your receiving. He is restoring the part of you that can hear without panic. He is restoring the part of you that can recognize an open door without assuming there must be a trap behind it. That is why clarity matters in this message. The lock has been turning, but you need the inner steadiness to walk through the door. You do not only need a prophetic word, you need the mind and heart to carry the prophetic word without turning it into stress. This is where the spiritual and the practical touch. This is where prayer and restoration can stand together. This is where God can use truth, stillness, obedience, and even a simple daily tool to help a person come back into agreement with what was placed inside them from the beginning. There is something I want to name carefully, not as pressure, not as a demand, not as a replacement for God. Receive only what confirms in your spirit and leave the rest in peace. There are people who have lived so long under fog that they start calling it normal. They forget words in the middle of a sentence. They think of the answer after the conversation has already ended. They feel creative in private, but slow when it is time to act. They know something is inside them, but it feels like the inner wires are not meeting. A neurologist in New York City, Dr. Daniel Barone, has spent years looking at this kind of disconnect. His work points to something simple but powerful. The mind is not meant to function in fragments. The two sides of the brain were designed to work together, and when they do, people often report sharper focus, faster insight, and a deeper sense of flow. This is not a strange idea. Dr. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Prize for research connected to how the two sides of the brain work. Most people never hear about that in church. Most people never hear about it in school in a way that touches everyday life. But the discovery matters because it shows that clarity is not only a mood, it is also connected to how the mind is working as a whole. Think about your life when insight has felt effortless. A solution arrived while you were walking. A sentence came out of you with no strain. A decision became clear without endless wrestling. You were not forcing it. Something inside you was working together. That is the state many people describe as flow. Inventors, artists, speakers, parents, builders, nurses, creators, and leaders have all felt it. It is the state where the mind feels awake, the body feels present, and the next step appears without being dragged out by panic. Dr. Barone and his team created a targeted auditory sequence around this idea. They call it the Genius Switch. It is not a meditation app, it is not a costly machine, it is not a trick. It is an 8-minute daily audio sequence designed around neural sync technology and whole brain activation. The intention is simple. You put on headphones, you close your eyes, you listen for 8 minutes a day. You do not need to chant. You do not need to force visualization. You do not need to perform spirituality. You simply give the mind a quiet sequence designed to support reconnection. And chosen one, hear the balance. This is not your savior. God is your source. This is not a replacement for prayer, obedience, wisdom, rest, or healing. It is a tool. A tool can serve restoration when it is used with discernment and not worshipped as the answer. I think of one woman whose story reflects what many people feel. She believed her family lived under bad timing. Every time something good approached, something collapsed. Her father worked for years, then watched stability disappear right when hope seemed near. That kind of pattern can train a person to expect disappointment as a law of life. But when clarity began returning for her, she described life differently. Her decisions felt calmer. Her thoughts felt sharper. Her relationship began to soften. Her work began to open in ways she did not expect. That does not mean every person will have the same story. It means the mind and spirit often move differently when a person stops living under the old fog. Maybe that is why this touches you. You are not asking for a shortcut. You are asking for access to what God already placed inside you. You are not trying to become someone else. You are trying to return to the version of you that could hear, learn, create, trust, and move without fighting yourself every step of the way. The team behind the Genius Switch explains it this way. Many children show a remarkable level of creative openness. They imagine quickly. They learn through play. They connect ideas that adults separate. But as people grow older, stress, systems, Habits, pressure, and survival can slowly cover that natural clarity. The goal is not to make you childish. The goal is to help restore childlike access, clearer receiving, better focus, more ease in insight. A mind that does not feel split between fear and purpose every time God asks for movement. The price structure is also simple. Some specialists charge hundreds of dollars for one in-person session using advanced equipment. Some home devices can cost thousands. The team says colleagues believed this kind of work would still hold value at $500. But it was not released at $500. It was not released at $200. It was not even released at $100. The standard price is $49, and on the page connected below, it is available for $39. There are also 4 bonuses included. A guided visualization from a highly rated creator on the Calm app. A smart grocery shopping guide designed to help reduce fog and save money. A classic manifestation book that has been read for more than 100 years. And a printable 5 habits infographic for your wall or desk. It also comes with a full money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen many times. Use it as directed. If it does not serve you, you are not trapped. That matters because restoration should not feel like another financial fear placed on top of an already tired heart. One more thing needs to be said. Be careful with imitations. If you search random audio tracks online, many will use similar language without the actual sequence behind it. Dr. Barone's team says the real version is only available through their direct page, and there is a reason they explain it there. If Spirit confirms, explore it through the link in the description or pinned comment. If not, receive the truth of this message and keep walking in peace. No pressure, no panic, no fear. The God who unlocks your life is not limited to one tool, but he can use simple tools when your heart remains anchored in him. The deeper point is this: your clarity was not gone, it was covered. Your gift was not dead, it was buried under survival. Your mind was not proof that you failed God. It was proof that you have carried more than people knew, and restoration may be simpler than shame told you. Breathe with that for a moment, not to force anything, not to decide everything right now. Just breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw loosen. Let the message sit without your mind trying to turn it into a project. Truth does not need to be rushed to remain true. Peace does not need to shout to be powerful. You have been listening for a long time because something in you is hungry for more than information. You are hungry for alignment. You are hungry for the place where your spirit, your mind, and your obedience stop pulling in separate directions. There is no shame here. There is no accusation here. There is only an invitation to come back into agreement with what God placed inside you before the world trained you to live covered. The lock is turning, but what God unlocks must be guarded. Revelation is not entertainment. Clarity is not a toy. Peace is not something to spend recklessly on every person who demands access to your inner life. Some words are sacred because they require stewardship. Some doors open quietly because the room behind them is holy. Some instructions must be carried in silence before they can be spoken in public. This is part of the maturity God has been forming in you. Chosen one, do not let old urgency steal new clarity. Do not let fear rush you after God waited this long to steady you. Do not let the need to be understood pull you back into explaining what God is still forming. The message was locked. The timing has changed. The clarity is returning. But the next part is where obedience begins, because an open door still requires a willing step. Chosen one, the door is open now, but the first step must be quiet. Do not rush through what God unlocked with the same panic that begged for the lock to move. The message has reached you, but the message is not the end. It is the beginning of a different way to walk. There are 3 instructions that matter after a lock turns. Keep them close. Carry them slowly. Do not treat them like rules to perform, but like lamps for the path ahead. The first instruction is simple. Stop asking old pain to interpret new doors. Old pain has a voice. It sounds familiar. It tells you to protect yourself before anything can bless you. It tells you every opportunity has a hidden injury inside it, and every open door is only another way for disappointment to find you again. That voice may feel wise, but it is not always truth. Pain can remember what happened, but pain cannot always discern what God is doing. Pain can warn you about old danger, but it cannot lead you into new obedience. Pain can explain yesterday, but it was never meant to become the prophet over tomorrow. So, when a new door opens, pause, breathe, ask what spirit is speaking through your reaction. Is it wisdom, or is it fear, wearing the clothes of wisdom? Is it discernment, or is it an old wound trying to keep you alive in a season that is no longer trying to kill you? The second instruction is this: stop forcing timing to prove that God loves you. This is where many hearts become tired. They believe if it comes quickly, God is kind. They believe if it takes longer, God is distant. But love is not always measured by speed. Sometimes love is measured by protection. Sometimes love is measured by hidden preparation. Sometimes love is measured by the door that did not open when your motives were still bleeding, and by the answer that waited until your hands could hold it without shaking apart. The third instruction is this: stop shrinking the message to fit people who never waited with you. Not everyone can understand the weight of what God has been doing in you. Not everyone sat with you in the silence. Not everyone saw the nights when you kept believing with no visible proof. This does not mean you become hard. It does not mean you become proud. It means you stop offering sacred things to every person who demands access. Tenderness is holy. Boundaries are holy too. You can love people without giving them authority over a door that God opened for you. Some people only knew the locked version of you. They knew the version that explained too much. They knew the version that apologized for taking space. They knew the version that waited for permission, softened every desire, and made pain sound smaller so others would not feel uncomfortable. When God unlocks you, some people will feel the difference before you even say a word. Your silence will sound different. Your peace will feel different. Your no will carry more weight. Your yes will become cleaner because it will no longer be mixed with the need to be accepted. That may grieve you. Let it. Do not pretend it is easy when relationships change around your obedience. It is painful when people you love only trust the version of you that needed them too much to become whole. It is painful when your healing feels like distance to those who benefited from your confusion. But grief is not a command to return. Missing someone does not mean you should rebuild the cage. Feeling compassion does not mean you should hand them the key. You can honor what was real, release what was harmful, and keep walking through the door God opened. Chosen one, this is part of the responsibility. The unlocked version of you cannot keep living by the rules of the locked room. You cannot pray for freedom and then keep arranging your life around people who preferred you bound. You cannot ask God for clarity and then keep surrendering your mind to voices that profit from your fog. The door is open, but old rooms still call. They call through guilt. They call through memory. They call through the fear of being misunderstood. They call through the ache of being seen as different by people who once felt like home. Do not answer every call. Some calls are echoes, not assignments. Some invitations are tests, not openings. Some familiar places only want you back because the version of you who lived there made everyone else more comfortable. There is no revenge in this. There is no need to prove they were wrong. The deepest proof will be your peace. The strongest evidence will be your steadiness. The clearest sign will be the way you no longer need chaos to feel needed. And I sense the Father speaking to the tired place in you. You were not late. You were being made ready. What I held back was not love, but timing. What I covered was not your future, but the place where fear kept reaching for it first. I did not forget the door. I did not forget the promise. I did not forget the tears you never explained. I watched the hidden work. I strengthened what no one saw. I waited until the word could heal you instead of frighten you. Receive that without fighting it. You do not have to argue with comfort. You do not have to prove that you are worthy of being spoken to gently. The same God who corrected your timing also protected your tenderness, even when you thought tenderness had become weakness. And now, let the message settle into the practical place. You have a next step. It may not be dramatic. It may not impress anyone. It may be a phone call you do not make, a boundary you finally keep, a habit you return to, a prayer you stop performing, or a door you stop begging to reopen. Obedience is often quiet after revelation. It looks like refusing the old pattern when no one is watching. It looks like choosing rest without guilt. It looks like writing down the instruction before emotion edits it. It looks like waiting one more day before speaking what still needs to mature in silence. The lock turned, but the room is holy. Enter with reverence. Enter without dragging old chaos behind you. Enter without demanding that everyone celebrate a door they cannot see. Enter with the kind of peace that does not need an audience to remain true. And if your mind has felt covered, restoration can begin simply. The Genius Switch is linked below for those who feel confirmed in spirit, and the practice is only 8 minutes a day with headphones and stillness. Explore it with discernment, or simply keep this word and keep walking in peace. God is still the source. No tool replaces His presence. No practice replaces obedience. No resource replaces surrender. But when a simple support helps the mind become quieter and clearer, it can serve the work God is already doing inside you. Now, place one hand over your heart if that feels right. If not, simply become still. Let the body know it does not need to run from this moment. Let your breath become slower. Let your shoulders remember that you are not carrying the locked door anymore. Release the belief that delay meant rejection. Release the shame of not understanding sooner. Release the need to force every answer into your preferred timeline. Release the old fear that says, if you do not control everything, everything will fall apart. You are allowed to receive without panic. You are allowed to move without proving. You are allowed to be guided without explaining every step to people who require certainty before they respect obedience. Receive clarity for the next step. Receive steadiness for the open door. Receive courage to obey without applause. Receive peace that does not collapse when someone misunderstands your timing. Chosen one, you were formed at the appointed time. You heard at the appointed time. You were steadied at the appointed time. You were hidden at the appointed time. You are being sent at the appointed time. The door opens inward. Remember that. It is not only about the world changing around you, it is about the inner place where fear once stood guard, finally making room for trust. It is about the part of you that stopped expecting goodness to hurt you. The door opens inward because God is not only changing your circumstances, He is changing the way you stand inside them. He is changing the way you hear silence. He is changing the way you carry instruction. He is changing the way you respond when peace arrives quietly. You do not need to chase the next sign tonight. You do not need to ask 10 more questions to prove that this was real. You do not need to disturb the seed to see if it is growing. Let the word remain planted. Let the appointed time do what only appointed time can do. There will be a moment after this when life becomes ordinary again. The music will fade. The room will feel normal. the message will no longer feel like fire in the same way. That is when the real walk begins. Do not mistake calm for loss. Some truths arrive with intensity, then settle into roots. The root is quieter than the flame, but it may be stronger. The root holds when emotion moves. The root remains when no one is watching. So when tomorrow comes, walk differently, not loudly, not proudly, differently. Answer old fear with patience. Answer old guilt with peace. Answer old doors with silence when silence is the cleanest obedience. If someone asks why you seem different, you do not need to defend the whole journey. You can speak simply. You can say you are learning to move with God. You can say you are becoming more careful with your peace. You can say nothing and still be obedient. The message was not late. The receiver is ready. The silence was not empty. The lock was not punishment. The door has opened because the timing changed, and the timing changed because God has been doing a hidden work in you. Let that hidden work be honored. Do not drag it into noise. Do not hand it to people who only know how to debate sacred things. Do not shrink it into language that makes unbelief comfortable. Guard the word without becoming afraid. You are not the same person who stood before this door before. You may still have questions, but they do not own you. You may still have wounds, but they do not name you. You may still tremble, but trembling is not failure when your feet are still facing obedience. Chosen one, this is the seal. What God held for you, He can now release through you. What He protected in silence, He can now grow in wisdom. What He unlocked in peace, no fear has authority to lock again. Take one more breath. Let it be simple. Let it be honest. Let it be enough for this moment. You do not have to understand every room beyond this door. You only have to enter the one God has opened. The door is open, chosen one. Enter with peace.